Good morning, good afternoon, happy Monday, LinkedIn friends, Value First Nation. Welcome to another episode of Value First Measurement here with Danielle, our first time in 2026, right?
I know. We've like really, I posted on LinkedIn that I was tiptoeing into 2026, and with Monday holidays and kids and travel, that's worked out perfectly.
Yeah, it's been interesting already. January is already done in a few days. So crazy to think about.
I hadn't even put that together yet.
Yep. Uh, that's what I do. I help people understand it's not gonna go slower, folks. Like, let's just go. Let's embrace the speed. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to chat with you about this topic. I've been hitting it in a couple different spaces and kind of a new space for it has been with actual humans on the other side of all this, trying to get business done and overcome all of the challenges that we've talked about throughout this series. And it's starting to resonate um, faster than I thought it would, I guess. Unified customer view. We did a workshop mid-December, with few of our friends. Didn't get very far, honestly, in the hour. So focus this quarter on like trying to make it more practical. Um, but also what I'm understanding is this ability to explain HubSpot without explaining HubSpot has been super, super valuable in getting leaders and other like non HubSpot users, right, to lean in and like stay engaged in the conversation in ways I haven't seen before. Like without being a part of any of these conversations, does this like make sense as something I'm excited about?
Definitely. Well, and it's funny because that conversation that we had in December, we can't even really call it a workshop because we truly did not get that far. But that's been like ping ponging around in my head because one of the things that we really got stuck on was like, how do you put all these pieces together to create a unified view? Is it truly that everybody sees the same thing and we just make the navigation easy? Or is it that we're creating dynamic versions to serve up, the right information to the right role? Are we like customizing it so it's collapsed and like sort of deprioritized and certain things are floated up to the top? But I loved it. Like I love that that's stuck in my head because I think my philosophy on gaining adoption inside of HubSpot is like make everybody's jobs easier. Maybe that's oversimplified, but when you actually make the thing easy to use and make it so that it helps you do your job better, then everybody wants to use it. And it shouldn't be that hard. Like it's hard for
Right.
us because we have to build all the pieces and figure out how to make it work best for that situation. But um, I'm overstepping into the adoption side here, but I've always fallen back on that. When you make the thing easy to use and you make it help people, then it's a no-brainer. People want to get in there.
Yeah. And like, I think our biggest mistake in December was not following this genius unified customer view playbook. Um, because the first it was the Valley First Data episode of this year with Clement and Casey, and we were going through this. And this should like immediately get to the heart of the problem. And hopefully this connects the dot to like why you need people who don't usually lean in
Mhm.
to lean in, right? And it's like, okay, yeah, we all know this part. It's like, do we
Yeah.
have HubSpot? Do we have access to HubSpot? And like so many audits, like still seeing it. All right, I'm building these tools to just go and look at HubSpot, and then I'm gonna deliver like valuable insights, like without talking to the humans that have not been using HubSpot probably, and they're gonna tell you how like, oh, this whole data set here that your audit is yeah, none of that data is real.
We don't use it.
Like, and I don't know how you could know why it isn't real, but
Right.
yeah. So now like half your right. So this is the easy part that we got to hear, right? And
Right.
Organizational readiness. Ensure your team is aligned and prepared for implementation. It's hard to just read through this without being like, yeah, we've got some work to do, folks. Teams are identified. At least one other person who will use the unified view daily. Like, to your point of making it easier to use, like, how often do we have just the marketing champion,
Mhm.
admin, be like, all right, I'm the person that's going to implement HubSpot. Let's go through this 90-day checklist.
Yeah.
Right. Like, when you don't get other people involved, you can't possibly build the unified customer view like for them.
Yeah. It's funny because I've lost deals to people saying, "Oh, we just want best practices implemented. Like we want the playbook." I'm like, "Okay, see you in a couple of years."
Exactly. And like, this is where, and what I'm finding is like, it takes a, I guess I'm a special like soul. It takes a special soul right now to be able to challenge effectively, because that's all they want is best practices. And if you go ask, it's a whole different conversation, AI native like stuff. If you go ask AI, like Oak shared last week, like somebody came to him and said, GPT just said that HubSpot could never be the system of record because it's only for marketing and sales,
Wow.
right? Like that's, and
Such
when I asked Claude
teaching.
about that, he's like, oh yeah, like millions of pages in my training data that says, yep, HubSpot equals marketing, sales, CRM. So all of your strategies, Chris, like it's like prove it. And I was like, shit, I can't. Like nobody's doing it, right? Vicious cycle. But when
Yeah.
you look at this kind of thing, so like the whole goal this year is like it's HubSpot implementation with by not ever focusing on HubSpot,
Yeah.
right? And it starts here in terms of like, okay, we usually know we try to get through implementation without bringing the voices that might challenge us along the way, but they're the ones that need the views,
Yeah.
right? Teams aligned, agreement on which customer facing teams need visibility. And like, this is where this is should be a slam dunk. Like if you're going through this and you're worried about challenges, like surprise, every customer facing team needs visibility,
Yeah.
right? So easy, like an easier yes, let's say, list of systems currently holding customer data,
Mhm.
right? Even informal ones like email and I'd say people's heads too.
Yeah.
And then, like, do you have time? Right. And can we be in a position, like, because all of this is happening alongside AI,
Mhm.
right? So, can we be in a position to like help them understand how AI can help make the space for the 2 to 4 hours per week that the humans need to spend working with each other and just sitting down and saying, okay, what does a unified customer view look like for you marketing, for you sales, for you service,
Mhm.
right? And helping people break free from this thought that like a system of record or a source of truth has one like vendor name,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's funny because I'm working through this implementation right now, and it's like all of the teams. They're fairly small companies, so the teams are mostly 1 to 2 people, but there are so many conversations happening at once on how different things overlap. So right before this, I was on a call with their web development team talking about how we get from a form to a portal that creates multiple contacts. And so now we've got the web dev team involved, but that came from a conversation with the subscription management team, and then there's the marketing team that needs to know who has an active subscription and get that over to their system that they're using for bulk emails, which is not HubSpot because it's very expensive in their case, or would be if we went that route. And then we're working with finance because the way that we expected to process payments is not going to work potentially. So now we're trying to figure out how do we get that path so that all of the data can be inside of HubSpot and the people who are managing the subscriptions know if they've been paid for or not. And marketing knows if the subscription is active or not. And so getting all these pieces together, it's like we've had to have so many meetings just to figure out how do you currently do it? Why is it terrible? How do we make it better? Okay, now we have more information about how it works. How do we still try to make it better, even though we've got some roadblocks? And how do we get to the view? So I've said before, I'm so excited to build their record views because it's just going to be right there. Like all the things that somebody needs, there's going to be like a membership card that's like shows the active associated subscription, shows their last payment, shows their, contact status or contact relationship to the subscription, whether they're a billing contact or a marketing contact or a primary contact. Like it's all just going to be there. And they've never had that level of access across teams. It's always been locked into different systems. And so we're even I'm hoping to push them into some more management of email or visibility of email back into HubSpot. We'll see.
Yeah.
Integration doesn't want to play nice, but we'll get there.
Right. No, it's huge because that's where like you mentioned towards the beginning, like eventually it does come back to us because we got to build it.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, that's it. Like finding the people, because this is the important part. Like it's so easy to just protect your own space, right? Especially when everybody has a system that they work on. And it's like the suggestion that, oh man, so much tried and true like advice. Like the whole goal of source of truth is to not duplicate like data everywhere. Right. Because then it's hard to maintain. It's like, yeah, it doesn't mean that this team, like, so what we've done is everybody's had to log into all the systems instead, right? Instead of just creating one source of truth system, and marketing works out of the system, and that's their source of truth, and sales is here, right? Okay. And what this does, this concept of unified customer view, it has allowed me to like forcibly but gently keep us out of the tools conversation. Yeah. It's a trap every single time. Like every time, especially if there's more than one tool. You either have more than one tool and you got to like worry about team defenses going up, right? Mm-hmm. Or somebody's never been in HubSpot before, right? And they're coming over to HubSpot. They want to sold them on the belief that HubSpot can do more than they can go research anywhere else. Mm-hmm. But then you start talking about like deals and all these words that they don't know what it means. And then, and it's this cycle of like, of course, we want to explain those things, but it doesn't actually like have any effectiveness in terms of getting their buy-in for whether this is the right decision or not, right? And the more it becomes about HubSpot, like leaders understandably like step back because it's not their responsibility to implement HubSpot and maintain HubSpot and run HubSpot. Yeah. But what they will sign up for, at least in just a couple of months that I've been trying this, is they will sign up to lead the unified customer view like initiative, right? And it's so easy to get a yes from everybody because it should be very obvious that if you put a customer-facing person in front of a unified customer view, they will have what they need and their job will get easier. Right. But like you mentioned, until you get like the team to sit down and say, this is what I need. Yeah. And then you apply the current system to that, right? It might be 10% there, it might be 50% there. Mm-hmm. Now that it's there, it's not about what to build. It's like, what interaction do we need? Like what is not even coming into the system yet? Like when you put the data, you just create this contextual view they've never had before. And all of a sudden, people get ideas, right? For like, oh, I've always thought LinkedIn comments should be something that we should care about, but I couldn't even, like, the way people talk about CRMs, like, what comments are just like
There.
extra and
Yeah.
they're noise, and like, so there's no even place to put them,
Right.
right? And now that you've given people the permission to say, all right, unified customer view at all costs, it's like just people innovate from places you don't expect, and that's because they know their business and their customers better than any of us could possibly know.
Right. Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, that's always our process, is like talk to the people first. And it's so interesting to like get their feedback first on the tools and then be like, all right, cool. So let's not talk about that anymore. Let's talk about what makes your job hard. What do you wish you could change in your day to day? And that's a pretty deep conversation, like, technically speaking, like we're talking to the practitioners at that point, not talking to the leaders. But coming away from that conversation, it's like, cool, I've got a roadmap now for what needs to be fixed. I have some ideas on how, and we're going to take this back to leadership and say, here's how we're going to make your business run more efficiently. And that's, like you're saying, there's no question about that buy-in, especially after you've made the sale. Like, it's so easy to just say, like, we're going to make this more efficient to give your team back like 50% of their week. And also, we're going to improve it so much that along the way, you're going to get more inspiration about other things you want involved. And so once they see what's possible at like the absolute baseline level and they get out of that like struggle cycle, now you get them into a space where it's like, wow, there's actually so much that we could do. Let's start thinking about that. And there's my retainer. But like, then we start looking at what else can we build into this? How do you pull other information into the view? Like LinkedIn comments are a great example of that, because there are maybe one or two people who are using that effectively, but it might be the thing that's actually driving your revenue. And when you start to pull some of that into the place where everybody's working, then if one of those two people leaves or one of those two people gets promoted, now you've got a system of record for how that was effective and how to continue that effort. You just have to point people in the right direction.
Yeah.
Make more money. Everybody likes that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I get it. It's hard. Like, people come in asking for a certain like help and a certain pain, and you want to help with that pain. But folks, it's a trap when they ask for like help making HubSpot work better.
Yeah.
Right. If you go to the leaders and say, this is how HubSpot's going to work better, it's like, okay, I hope that helps our business. Like,
Reduce how much I pay HubSpot to.
right. And it's just like, again, this bridge of because everybody's got baggage. Everybody's been through 3 or 4 projects where this is supposed to work. It hasn't. And like, everywhere you look, as soon as they start talking about their experiences, it's about the tools. Right. And hopefully this is like, at least what I'm finding personally, and as I do more project work with the Caseys and the Ryan Ginsbergs of the world, and like, it's pretty fun to watch like people who have never seen an alternative before, like, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm not supposed to be doing it. I don't have to do it this way that I know sucks.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, as soon as you get that feeling that they don't like what the words that are coming out of their mouth,
Yeah.
is like, if you can be there to say, no, it can be done this other way. It's just a little bit different way to think about it.
Right.
Right. And it's been fun, for sure. But now the work is like, okay. Because I think with the unified customer view, a 360-degree view, it's not anything new, right? But what I've felt is that, it's been marketed as that, HubSpot specifically, but it's never been sold as that, and it's never been delivered as that, because we start from a place of, let's just get the quick win out of the way, right? And like, I'm betting, and I can't wait to start sharing more outcomes, Like some of the quickest wins are going to be like, hey, we know what our unified customer view needs to look like now.
Yeah.
Right. We've got that documented.
Yeah. Won't that be a dream? It's funny because I used to work in the data industry. It's going to sound really dirty, but I worked for a company that sold a really fast database, and all of our partners were data visualization tools. And then I worked for a data visualization tool. And so the focus of my career has always been like data in aggregate. And the shift now, and I don't think this is just my career path and my perception, but I really think there's such a focus to that one-to-one authentic relationship piece. And that's where we can take the focus off of the aggregated data, which we know was only like what 70% accurate if you're lucky to begin with, and now put that into like manage the relationship, manage the humans first, and let's get that piece of it dialed in, because then the aggregate data will follow. Then when you get to the level of leadership and board reports, it actually is more than 70% accurate, hopefully, maybe, because that individualized focus and managing the relationship first and making it easier for everyone to do their jobs right and do it effectively just works. Like the rest of the downstream impact is massive, whether you intended for that or not. And I think that focus of unified customer view and singular person and like contact management and relationship management is exactly where we all should be and are starting to focus. And I love that for us.
Yeah, I do too. Because we've never had more data than we have right now. Like everything you wanted to know about a human buyer, like is available.
Right.
But when you just bring it in, and it's like, all right, man, that's a mess. So let's just make the list and start calling.
Yeah.
Right. Like it doesn't have to. Meanwhile, people are interacting like on LinkedIn, on Reddit, and other spaces where it's like, if you knew they were there, that's exactly who you're going to call, and it's going to hit every time. And like everybody on the team starts to feel better about the situation. They start to use the system. Trust starts to build. Right.
Yeah.
So this is going to be, this relates, I'm unboxing intent data later this week. We're going to be unboxing scores in HubSpot, and even that team, like it's going to be lead scores and health scores together, right? So I think we're entering the world where it's let's score the relationship with the human being, like wherever they are.
Yeah.
And it helps break down these barriers of like, oh well, it's okay to score them right at the beginning and then start to plan these views, because it doesn't necessarily matter like when they filled out the form. If we're open to just understanding like what they want us to understand, right? Which is who they are, where they are, what they care about. Every business, like that's the exciting part of this. Like you cannot say that these are not good things for your business.
Yeah.
And it highlights immediately that the hard part is bringing your internal teams together, like to get it done. The tool is like, the tool's not it.
Needs to an end. Yeah.
Right. So you'll be hearing much more about this concept, and we'll be starting to share examples for sure soon. I don't make any promises, but it's been super helpful on Tuesdays to go through this playbook and just be like, when you put the usual stuff within this frame, all of a sudden it's like, oh, seems pretty straightforward. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can help you trust that this is the path. And if you're interested and this is resonating with you, like don't hesitate to reach out. We'd love to help you get stuff like this done. Sound good, Danielle?
Sounds like a blast. Please. I want to do more of this.
I know. It's so good. It's like, because people are out there, they want to do it well.
And
right?
I
That's
want
all
to
they
do it
want.
for you.
Right. That's all they want. It's just, can we start being better like about this? Like, I can't find any good examples out there of this actually working, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to help you do that. Until next Monday, everybody have a great week. Thanks, Danielle.
Thank you.